morning, you guys. Welcome to Teddy Unscripted on a very wonderful, Wednesday? Oh wow, I got to do the wonderful Wednesday like Dawn did. That's how you know I've been working here too long. I didn't really plan that. I just kind of did the Dawn wonderful Wednesday. It's been a day. I'm exhausted. If I seem a little low energy today, that's something I want to talk about later. I am so tired. I have no idea why I've not been getting sleep. There's a lot of people I know who have been having a lot of trouble sleeping recently, so I wanted to give a huge shout out to your CBD store. If you want to learn more about them, Slick Speaks, another show on our 2020 network that just had a show yesterday. He talks with Asa from your CBD store a lot. They give out some great information because they have been really saving me recently with sleeping because it has been just not even a thing, not even an option for me. So shout out to them. Check out Slick Speaks. He has a bunch of shows with Asa, and they give out some great information that I'm not going to give out because I don't know it well enough, and I'm not getting in trouble for giving out wrong CBD information. Oh my goodness, I don't have my dog. Do you want to get my dog for me? I wanted to make the big announcement about Valerie's the best. I love you, Valerie. You're a goddess. I wanted to give the big announcement of everyone. Thank you so much for everyone who went on my Instagram story and my Facebook story and my Facebook post and Instagram post and everything that you did. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I love you. You're a wonderful person. Just walk in front of the camera. I need him. This is our new mascot. And I had asked if you didn't see, I don't want to drop him. Yes. Okay, his butt can be in my face. It's fine. I have 3 dogs. I'm used to it. If you didn't see, I had posted on my stories and social media that I needed a name for him because he's really adorable. If you don't know, we filmed Teddy Unscripted in the Brooklyn Cafe, AMP2, New Dawn Media Studio Theater Gallery because it is now official art gallery. If you can't tell, I have lots of lovely art behind me. We have Jay Harmon's. We have Amy Rashevsky's over here. You can check on all of our shows. We always have art behind us. We actually have a theater right in the other room that is filled with art by Amy Rashevsky, Jay Harmon, and now our mystery artist, who I will be hopefully having an interview with soon. I'm going to get all the information for it because, honestly, I don't know how to say everything, and I don't want to embarrass myself by saying names wrong. But he gave us a bunch of really cool sculptures. We got an acrobat sculpture. We've had a jaguar sculpture. We have the beautiful New York apple that's always on the set of the Brooklyn Cafe TV. And now we have our wonderful dog, and I decided I love dogs. My dogs are nut jobs, and I can't bring them into the show. We may as well have a little doggy mascot. And so I posted on social media asking you guys what his name should be. And I do have a winner. And when I ask my winner, I'm going to tag him in the comments after the show, and I want you to DM me either your address or somewhere we can meet so I can give you your prize for giving the name because it was the name that made me laugh the most. I got some really great honorable mentions, but Walter Dean Smushface III from Lewis Mayer is this little guy's new name because, I don't know, Walter Dean just really rolls off the tongue, and he has a smush face. And I'm the person who, names my dog Smoosh. So this is Walter Dean Smushface III. He's the new official mascot. I'm going to be posting a lot with him. And if you didn't know as well, all of the art in our studio is all actually for sale. So if one of you wants to be super cruel and take Walter Dean Smushface III away from me, he is for sale. All of our art is for sale. And you can always get in touch with us through the cafe phone, through calling Dawn and Freddie. You can message me on either Teddy Unscripted or 2020 Vision. And we'll always get you in touch with the artists. We've had quite a few artists been selling pieces. Someone just decorated their entire house with pieces, which was a shock to me. Absolutely amazing because I've never been able to be part of an art deal like that. So it was something really cool. But yes, congratulations, Lewis. Be sure to DM me and I'll send you some really cool stuff because I'm really excited about that. And thank you, everyone. I want to do some honorable mentions of Sarge. Stitch and Poindexter were some pretty great ones that... They were close, but nothing beats Walter Dean's Smushface III for me. And yes, Walter Dean's butt is truly in my face, but it's fine. We're great. A couple of things I wanted to mention. Number one is this is going to be a bit of this is always an opinionated show, but this is a super opinionated show. If my opinions offend you, sorry. It's Teddy Unscripted. I'm allowed to say things. I'm sorry if it offends you. Black Lives Matter. I want to do a huge shout out that it wasn't Black Lives Matter Spirit Week last week. We are still fighting for this. And unfortunately, if you're like me, who you're not able to go to the protests because of health reasons, please be sure to, I'm also going to be making a link tree so I can post all out on our social media of places where you can either donate to Black Lives Matter causes, or you can sign petitions, or just get involved in some way. I'm going to be trying to make a list of a bunch of Black-owned small businesses that you can support, because it's still going on. We still need to keep fighting. Just because one little thing happened, we did get a step forward, which is amazing, but we're not there yet. And I'm not going to talk on it too much because I understand that all I can do is relay what I have spoken to friends about. I'm not in a super strong position of it, but I do want to just put that out there. I will be making that link tree. If you guys have any foundations or links or petitions that you want me to put on it, please send them to me on, again, either Teddy Unscripted on Facebook or 2020 Vision on Facebook. I'll get both of those. And I wanted to do one more quick housekeeping thing before we talk about everything, which is there have been posts going around about, you can see it on my computer because I'm so bad with dates. There have been posts going around about something called a No Mask Day, a nationwide No Mask Day on June 20th. I can strongly encourage people to not do that. I strongly ask people to not do that. I understand that wearing a mask stinks. You can see mine on my computer right here. I'm wearing it all the time when I'm not on air. It stinks. It is harder to breathe. It is, my face gets sweaty. You start to break out around where it is. It's hard to move around. I get it. But it's even harder to watch someone you love pass away because you didn't feel like wearing a mask when you went to Target. And I see guys, not you guys, hopefully the people who watch this aren't the people who are doing this, but I see people, I have to go to Target. My parents are older, so I go shopping for them and my grandparents and everything. And I go and I'm wearing my mask. And I see people walking and their masks are hanging out their ears or pulled down so their nose is out or pulled down all the way on their chin. And I just want to remind everyone that if your mask is not covering your full face, like your nose and your mouth, it doesn't work. And no, there's no actual scientific study that proves that masks bring down blood oxygen levels. It's, this is kind of a non-vax movement to the extreme. It just has visuals. It's just, please don't do this. I know it's going around, and I understand they stink to wear. Believe me, I take every chance I can to run into a bathroom or run into a fitting room and take my mask off and just breathe for a few minutes. Because I get super claustrophobic. I get it. Like, all the things people are like, I'm claustrophobic, I have anxiety. Like, yeah, I have that too. And I can still wear a mask. There's a lot of immunocompromised people who can't wear masks or who are afraid to leave their houses and see anyone because even just getting a cold right now could be detrimental to them. So I know you hate wearing a mask. I know you think you're healthy enough to, all be fine. But wearing a mask doesn't protect you. It protects everyone else. There's nothing we can do to protect ourselves. We have to rely on other people to protect us. And all we can do is wash our hands. Hand sanitize our hands. Try not to touch your face like I have a really bad habit of doing. So that's that's my soapbox for it. Just, you're protecting other people, and that's a really big thing for me. If you know me, you know that I'm very into weaponry and self-defense for protecting other people. So there's no better way that I think you can be a true American and true, good countryman than right now. The easiest thing, just wear a mask when you go outside. It's so easy. But along those lines, I would also like to bring out some really cool news. The Bachelor has their first Black Bachelor coming out, which I didn't actually realize until this morning. I had my news feed was flooded with, I'm not a huge Bachelor fan. I never really understood the idea of The Bachelor. It's kind of like an America's Next Top Model to me, where I'm just like, okay, these all people are really pretty. You seem to have really good dates. You don't like that person because he wore a blue shirt instead of a red one? But also, you were in the hot tub with these four. Okay, to each his own. I get it. So I've never been a huge fan of The Bachelor, but I was in a sorority when I was in college, and there are a huge amount of people who would come over to our house, and our living room would just be flooded with people just I mean, popcorn and pajamas, and they had their brackets. It was like March Madness for The Bachelor. They would have people would be betting on who goes home what day, who's going to kiss who, what's going on, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, who's going to get the roses. And I never fully understood it, but I do think it's really cool that in the midst of all this, whether they're capitalizing on the cool social, oh, a movement, this is big, we can capitalize this or not, I think it's really cool that they have their first Black Bachelor. So I'm very excited about that. Also, there's a thing that Aunt Jemima is changing their name and changing the picture on the syrup bottle. So I have all of my notes and stuff on my computer. But apparently they say, we recognize Aunt Jemima's origins are based on a racial stereotype. This is from the company's vice president. While work has been done over the years to update the brand in a manner intended to be appropriate and respectful, we realize those changes are not enough, which is something really cool because there's a whole story, and I won't get into it now. You can look it up behind who Aunt Jemima really was, and it's really very interesting. Again, I don't know every fact about everything, so I'm not going to bring it up on the show, but you can look it up, and it's really cool. And I think this is one big step to hopefully changing things like sports names that are still pretty offensive to different racial groups. This is a very opinionated show. I'm sorry. I usually try and be very in the middle. I try not to offend people because I understand that everyone has different views on things. But this is something that's very strong to me, that I have had friends express that they get very offended by things like sports teams' names, calling them or named after an old racial slur. And I was like, ooh, yeah, that is an issue for me. So, and all the news is coming out about it. So that's kind of my thing today, I guess. So I think it's really cool that they are going to be changing it. I'm interested to see what they're going to change it to. I don't know. I know that they've changed her look a lot because originally it was very... They say, okay, I'll just do this. It says it was based on a stereotype archetype known as the mammy, usually portrayed as a caregiver or maid in a white family's home, which had its roots in slavery, obviously. So it's very interesting that you've seen them update too. She's wearing a bandana and pearls, and it looked, I think they were going for more Rosie the Riveter, but looked still kind of maidly, to now, and it just looks like your adorable grandmother, who still, I'm happy they're updating it. I think it's going to be a really interesting fact, but I also hope that it isn't detrimental for the company, because Aunt Jemima's has become so synonymous with syrup. It's the same thing as a Kleenex. I've heard people ask me for a Kleenex and they just mean a tissue. It doesn't mean if it's the Kleenex brand or anything. So I think Aunt Jemima has really been synonymous with syrup, where people say, hey, can you pass me the Aunt Jemima's? Can you pass me a Band-Aid? Can you pass me a Kleenex? It's all the same thing. So when that brand name goes away, are people still going to be buying it? Are people still going to recognize it as, oh, that's the Aunt Jemima syrup that I like? Or is it going to be, what's this brand new syrup? I don't trust it. I don't like it. Or is it going to be something amazing where people are super aware of it? By the way, if you see me looking up, there's a TV, and I'm a narcissist, so I'm just staring at myself. I'm like, oh, look at Walter Dean. He looks great. But are people going to be super into it? Are they going to be super gung-ho, like, oh my God, this company was so progressive, they finally changed it? And again, are they using this as, a jumping point because of all the social issues that are going on right now? Probably. But is it still a positive change no matter what? Yeah. And again, I hope that certain sports teams take this as oh, I can do this too. We can rebrand. I know that one or two already have in the past, 10 years. I remember hearing about different sports teams rebranding. And I think it's something really important. That's just a really awesome thing. So yeah, that's my little news for the day. Last thing I want to talk about was it is Pride Month. So happy Pride Month to all my LGBTQIA plus friends. Know that I know a new law was put in, and I won't talk about it too much because, again, I'm trying not to get too political. I know that 2 new laws, or a bill was just revoked and a law was just passed. Know that you're still supported and loved, and happy Pride Month. I am really excited about Pride Month because it does stink that all of the parades and obviously festivals are canceled because of COVID. But I think this is the true spirit of Pride Month, that there is still protests and there's still big things going on to make change. The first person who threw the stone at Stonewall was a Black trans woman. And I'm really excited. This is the true spirit of Pride Month, and hopefully we can continue to make changes in it. We're only halfway through. We still have so much time to push through and break through. And I'm just very excited for that. I do want to do a giveaway because it is Pride Month, and I'm trying to be a little more fun and exciting as I'm super low energy and tired today. We did the first one with Lewis, who won the little prizes for Walter Dean, and I was hoping I could get one of my LGBTQIA friends, someone. If you want to, and I know you can DM me because it might be something private, tell me something that you love about the community, about the LGBT community. And if you're like me and you're just an ally or you don't really know about it, keep watching, because hopefully either Friday or next week, depending on how many people I get, I will be able to share out some stories, because that is what I originally wanted the show to be. I want this to be a way to share out stories. If you go back, we had Stan the Helper on last week, and he was sharing out, or 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry, and he was sharing out stories of homeless people. I've had Loba Tactical on, and she shared out her story, and I am going to have her on soon because I believe her podcast is officially launching very soon. I know everything's kind of pushed it all back, but I believe it will be launching soon. So hopefully I'll have Danny from Loba Tactical back on. And I really want to get people's stories out there. So if you have a story specifically LGBTQIA+ for now, because it is Pride Month, DM me, write me a comment, let me know on Instagram, put up a story, tag me on something, tag me someone that you want to put on here so that I can get your stories out to at least a few more people, and let anyone who hears this know that they're not alone in whatever they're doing, whether it's protesting, being an ally, coming out, doing whatever. Pride Month is such a huge thing, and I don't want it to get lost in the protest, but I want it to be highlighted as, multiracial LGBT Pride Month. And I know it sounds like I'm just kind of talking, but it is something that I've grown up. If you don't know, I have a background in theater. I've done theater since I was 7. I have never stopped. I got my degree in theater management and costume design and, costume construction. And that's how I met one of our other guests, Jen, who came on a few weeks ago, who made the really awesome masks and who does Pop Pastel clothing. And I've just always been super around the LGBT community, and so it's definitely become a huge part of my life. And I remember being in New York, and I was too young to go to the Pride festivals at the time, but I was in New York when the first bill passed that you could legally marry in New York, and it was such a huge deal. And I remember my family making a huge deal of it. We threw a big party because we were so excited, and that if my 2 great uncles were still alive, they would have been allowed to finally marry their boyfriends, and it was such a huge thing. So it is something that I want to really highlight this month. And yeah, that's my little soapbox of repetitive. Send me your stories, send me your interviews, let me get your news out there. Thank you again to Lewis for giving me Walter Dean Smushface III. And by the way, be sure to check out on Friday nights from 6:30 to 8, we have been putting on Cafe After Hours on live radio, WNN Beasley. And last week we had our wonderful 2020 show, Small Talk with Valerie, and we had one of my shows with Stan the Helper on. I believe this week we're going to try and put Slick Speaks on and all that. So if you kind of want to hear us on the radio, I thought it was a really cool little jump up that we're on social media, all over that, but we're also on live radio. And I want to give a super big shout out to, I had one of our other producers, Kelsey, go on my Facebook page the other day because I am hopeless and I don't know how to do all the analytics. I kind of just was like, here's my video, have fun. But she was really cool, and she went on my Facebook page and showed me all my analytics and found out that I actually have quite a few viewers from outside America, which I did not know. I thought I'd have a few because we did Blame Jane shop from based in the UK a few weeks ago, and that was really awesome. So I was like, oh, okay, like I'm sure, a few people from the UK were like, oh, I'll have more people on. Would like to give a huge shout out to people watching in Barbados, Mongolia, Canada, and Spain. I'm pretty sure I know the Spain person. Manuel, shout out to you. I miss you, baby. If you don't know, Manuel was one of our old producers. He is still our producer, but he used to live here. He was living here in between school. And he is my anime buddy. He's my friend. I love Manuel. So shout out to you. I'm pretty sure that's who's watching in Spain. But Barbados, Mongolia, and Canada was a huge surprise to me. So thank you guys so much for watching. And just a huge shout out for that. Let me know if you're those people watching in those countries. Leave a comment. Let me know, I don't know, how you found the show, because that's so insane to me that people in literally other countries found Teddy Unscripted. And be sure to watch out on 2020 right after this ends. Refresh your page because we're going to have What's the Tea with Dina on. She is going to be talking to our producers Slick and Vinny more about the Black Lives Matter protest. Slick was able to go to a protest. He did an amazing video on it talking about, well, I'll let it speak for itself. But be sure, definitely get in there. And they want to talk about Vinny made amazing equality pictures and all that. So be sure to check that out. It's going to come on 2020 Vision right after this. And have a great day, you guys. And thank you for listening to me ramble. I'll see you on Friday when I'm going to have another really awesome interview and hopefully a little more stuff for Pride Week. So thank you so much.